Hey, it's Kimberly from StampItByTheSea.com and welcome back to Creating with Kimberly. This card we are going to create today uses the 4 feathers stamp set, and I love it because it coordinates with those 2 little feather framelits that are awesome. And for this card, I want to show you just some fun, a fun technique that you can do using our Typeset Designer Series paper. Now, for this card, you can see here, I've got the Typeset Designer Series paper here, and actually our feathers that we're going to create are also embossed with gold embossing powder onto the typeset. So let me show you how to create this look. It's really a super fun, easy card. So first you're going to need a 4 1/4 by 11 piece of cardstock, 4 1/4 by 11, and just fold that in half, and that's your card base. And we'll go ahead and put that to the side. Now the next thing you're going to need is a piece of your typeset, and this is going to be 3 3/4 by about 4 1/2. Now 4 1/2 because you're going to just tear off a small edge at the bottom. And then you're going to need a piece of crumb cake cardstock that you're going to run through. You can run it through any texture embossing folder, but today I use the wood grain. And this measures 2 1/2 by 3 1/2. Now we're going to set that aside, and we're going to come over here to our embossed feathers. Yeah, that's the word, Kimberly, feathers. And we are going to color them in, and we're going to emboss them, and then we're going to color them in. And let me just show you, although they're already done, and I'll tell you why. I already recorded the video, totally screwed up, and I said, oh, I have to redo it. And then I was supposed to emboss these already for you. Well, that's not done. So here we are. Are you still with me? Yep, that's how I roll. So here's what we're going to do. I use sponge daubers to push the ink through the embossing powder. So once you have it embossed with the gold on the typeset, you're just going to take the ink with a sponge dauber. I think they should be inked a little bit more, don't you? And we're just going to push the ink through it just like that. And you're going to do the same with cherry cobbler, and then also tangerine, or oh, what is it called? Tangelo twist. They really need to name that Tangerine 2 or something. It's a beautiful color, and it is different than our regular tangerine. I don't even know what that color is. Oh, good Lord, Kimberly. Anyways, it's a pretty orange. How's that? What you're going to do after that is you're going to use the framelits, and we are going to cut those out, and we'll have 3 of these fun little feathers. Now what's great about the typeset is it is a very fine, thin paper, so you can see the words that are coming through the feathers, and that's the part I love. Now this one, actually in the light, and you probably can't see it on the video, but when the light flows through the gold embossing powder, you can see the writing still. When you're choosing your paper, and you can see for what I did here, I chose more of the writing instead of the black, just because I wanted you to be able to see some of the writing coming through. Alright, so now that we have our 3 feathers, let's kind of get this card together. So we have our Hello Honey, and we have our typeset paper and our crumb cake. And what I wanted to do is take a piece of this Naturals chevron ribbon. It's my absolute favorite because it's dual purpose. Chevrons on one side, perfectly natural on the next. I love it. And we're going to put that towards the bottom. And you don't need as much as I have on here. You'll find with me, I already have some snail on there. And I'm just going to add a little bit more. And some people are like, snail? That's not going to stay. Well, you know what? Here's the thing. It's going to stay because you're going to have it on the card, some dimensionals on the card, and it's going to be perfectly fine. Don't worry your pretty little head with it. Perfect. Okay, so that one isn't staying, but there's no snail there. How's that? Alrighty. Now, we want to put this on with some dimensionals. I love dimensionals. And we're going to make that just pop up a little bit more. Okay, so now we're going to put this on our card. It's going to be more towards the top because we have a greeting that we want down here. And so you have about maybe 1/4 inch up at the top there. So the next thing we want to do is put our feathers on. So let's go ahead. I'm going to stage them to see where they're going to be. and something like that. Oh, I likey. So what I want to do is put these on with dimensionals too. Now I'm just going to use one right at the top, and I want a little bit hanging down here, and you'll see why in a second. And we'll put this tangerine looking one here. Let's put that one about right there. And then our little guy, again, just one dimensional. And that just gives it a little bit of oomph. That's a good word, huh? And I like that. Now, I have some linen thread, and I've actually doubled it and then doubled it again because I love how this ties when it's doubled. It just looks better. The other part, if I do it just single, it doesn't lay right when I make my bow. So I'm going to take this, make a little tie down here. You don't want to tie it too tight or it won't, you'll actually break your paper because that designer series paper is pretty darn thin. All right, and now let's just give it a little twisty like that. I've got lots of little layers that I need to pull through here. Oh, look how fun that's becoming. Let's see, I don't want that one. I don't want that one either. Maybe that one. There we go. Now this is too big. Let me show you my other one. Right here, you have your bow, and you're also going to just trim down your pieces here. So let's trim them down. You know, I kind of like this bow. It's kind of pretty. And then we have another thing that we're going to add. We're going to add this little element, this wooden autumn element, and we're going to just put that down with either a glue dot, or you could even maybe use some hot glue. Hot glue works great for it too. Now the last thing I'm going to do is use this Hello Fall, and it's from the For All Things stamp set, and I'm going to stamp it right there at the bottom. Preferably when you do it, don't do it crooked like I just did it, but you get the hang of what I'm trying to do here. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. That is a card that is easy enough and pretty. Oh, last, add your little sequins right there. Super pretty. All right, thanks for visiting. I'll see you on the next video.